All right, I'm clicking the button. We are right on time,
Look at that. Look at that.
like professionals.
Always. Always. This is Weirdos in Pursuit. It's kind of a crossover multiverse kind of thing.
It
I'm
is,
Sam Slade.
yeah.
This is you guys know Jack Matirko.
How you doing, Sam?
Man, I'll tell you what.
Man,
Uh it's
the
been a
only phrase that's been going through my head since we decided we were going to do this today was, Samwise, it's like 3 months to Mordor, and I'm getting real tired of carrying this ring.
I wish I got that reference. I don't know those elf movies very well.
Oh well, we'll school you up on Peter Jackson's history one day or another.
Yeah, I need to do my homework and do the whole walk with the rings and stuff.
No, man, if you want to do Peter Jackson properly, you got to start with Meet the Feebles. But that's another story altogether.
All right. I'll get on the IMDb and get the spreadsheet going. Sick hat. Loving the hat.
This is my college alumni hat. This is King College Wilkes-Barre. Represent.
Is that where that
Probably get
pastor?
tested
I mean,
representing with this, but
is that where that priest was from that you were saying should go talk to Joe?
yeah, Father Looney, because he
They
was
never had to call him in, did they?
president there now. He was my Christian marriage professor.
Well, I bet you
You
learned
know
a
that
lot,
went
right?
well.
It's been a quiet summer though, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been a real quiet summer. Sure.
Do you remember that time? Couple moments that I forgot were even this summer. That time that did I dream this up? Donald Trump got convicted of 34 charges of fraud, and they just racked him up.
Yep. That happened.
All right, okay,
That
so
was state. That was state charges, right?
yeah, that was state of New York.
The big issue is that Eileen Cannon just flat out dismissed his stolen documents case, which he then went on to claim that he won, even though it hasn't been appealed to the 11th Circuit yet.
You know,
It's totally going to be. He hasn't won that case. Uh,
and also Jack Smith can also file it in a different district, which they don't. I don't think they're really realizing. But do you remember after that whole deal? Do you remember there was that time where Donald Trump was in Pennsylvania and he acted like he got shot, and then he wore like that huge giant towel on the side of his head for like one night or like a few nights, and then he didn't wear any band-aid, and it was his ear was fine.
yeah,
And
yeah, that's a whole
they said he
thing.
had locked up the election for sure, and he was
I don't mean to delve into conspiracy theory.
well, no, let's just go
Everyone
by the FBI
who I've,
report.
everyone who I've talked to who is serious about their guns tells me that if a bullet like that passes your ear that closely, it does a lot more damage than. I mean, realistically, he should at least be deaf in that ear because there's a sonic boom that happens, right? It should have at least blown out his eardrum. Maybe that's
Yeah,
why he had such a hard time hearing at the National Association of Black Journalists.
I'm sure that's exactly why. I'm sure it is, and
Maybe
also
that's why he had such a hard time hearing at and because his eardrum is blown out. They're not telling anybody.
I just couldn't believe how quick that ear healed.
It is a little weird. It is a
And
little
he was all, and I don't know if you saw him the other day at that rally he had where he was all, and now I'm basically Logan now.
yeah. Yeah,
I heal very, very quickly. I'm basically Wolverine now.
yeah, that's his thing now. He's got a healing factor. Huh?
He's got a healing factor. Look at that, kids. and then and then we were like, well, fuck, and we were all getting ready for 4 more years of Trump, and we were all getting mentally and physically prepared to live with that. And the women in our lives being miserable, really anyone in our lives being miserable. And then one morning you woke up and it didn't seem so bad outside.
And then Madam Harris came along.
My Lord, my God, what a difference a Sunday makes.
Right? I you know I I love Joe. He's a Scranton boy. I went to school in Wilkes-Barre. Like I'm saying, I I understand And I understand why he was reticent to step down.
Well,
But
yeah. I
I
mean, think about it. I mean,
I really genuinely incensed by this narrative of they forced him, blah blah. Like, I mean,
I
the
don't think you can force. I don't think you
the
can force
guy's
somebody to
81
do
years old.
anything.
Like, the idea that an 81-year-old saying, "Hey, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to retire in 6 months," is somehow a scandal is ridiculous. Like, anybody who is Joe's age who says, "I'm done come January," like, I'm just telling you now, I'm not doing this anymore. Take this job and shove it. Like, the man has every right to retire. The man had every right to retire when he took the job in the first place after his wife got killed in a car accident. Like,
I mean, that was 52 years ago, and he
he
stuck
could have
with.
given it. He could have given it up then and just been like, a trial lawyer and had a perfectly happy life.
Yeah, he would have been the best. He would have been the best attorney in Scranton for the rest of his life,
Well, he would have been in Delaware at that point, but
or
whatever.
DA or whatever he would have been. I mean, someone low key.
Yeah, but he could have just been, like a work a day attorney, and he it would have been fine. But no, he didn't
Yeah,
do
but the thing is that when his boys were in the hospital after that car wreck, Ted Kennedy came to him in the hospital and said, "We need you. I've lost brothers, and I'm not going to lose you, brother."
Yeah.
He was Ted Kennedy's right hand man in the Senate for many, many years. He was kind of
Uh,
Kennedy's. They were on the Foreign Relations Committee and the Judicial Committee together, and they just sat next to each other and were like, "What did he say? What the fuck did that guy say?" I mean, they took down Bork. That was huge.
taking down Bork was a big deal.
Which no one watching this probably even knows what the
There's
fuck we're
the
talking
reason that
about.
Bork is a verb in this country,
You got Bork, dude.
and that is partly Joe Biden. Yeah.
Well, look, I think it's a testament to Joe's true American. I mean, he's going to go down as a true American hero.
Yeah, it's
Being
almost
that
like it's almost like you ever go to roller derby?
yeah, hell yeah,
You know how, like, they do that thing where the one person skates in front and then
and they
grabs
like
somebody
shoot
and
him forward.
whips forward. That seems like what Joe has done for Kamala.
Absolutely, and we talked to a lot of people. You and I had these conversations over the summer where everybody said, "Well, it can't be the vice president." So I'm so excited. And we go, well, the polling, nobody polls on hypothetical situations, and barely real polling is good. And as soon as she hops in, and you look at Trump next to her, I mean, I asked you what you wanted to talk about tonight, and the first thing you said was the National Black Journalists Association town hall.
Oh yeah, I got that video ready to go.
Let's do it. You want to do it?
Pull
Let's do
that
it.
up.
You want to set this up for the folks who missed it?
Yeah, for people who didn't see this, um, Trump went ahead and decided that he was going to speak to the National Association of Black Journalists convention in Chicago, and that he could not have done this worse. Like, I genuinely don't know.
Dude, it played Jack. Didn't it play it to me? It played like an SNL bit. You know what I mean? To where you go like, if that was on SNL, you'd go, "This is crazy. This is hilarious."
He did such a terrible job. Like, he really did. All right, let's see how this works. Did I do this right?
I think so. What are you supposed to do, an hour, and they got him out of there after 35 minutes? That's wild.
Well, okay, so that's another thing. Like, because right off the bat, you'll see in a second, he attacks them for starting late because of technical issues. But I've also seen it reported that the reason that it started late was because his campaign people were arguing against them doing live fact checking during the event.
Right. Yeah. Because PolitiFact was there
And
to check.
what's true and what's not there is a little fuzzy. Uh,
Well, either way, I mean, it's political malpractice. Send him the fucking thing to begin with.
am I sharing everything, or
Yeah. I mean, I can see that whole screen.
you see my whole screen? Hang on a second. Let me see if I
There
can
it is.
share the window. Oh, and I need to click that one too. So there we go. There. So now you should just see the window. All right. So you ready for this? Have you watched this at all yet?
Yeah, no, I saw this. Hey, how do you do that? Tammy from Ty and Ian show, one of the her solid fans
Yeah,
asked
yeah.
me if I was gonna do at everyone. How do you do that on Facebook?
I think if you just go
So you just say at everyone?
at everyone or at followers.
I just commented back. It's fine. All right, yeah, no. We turned this on last night. We were just gonna watch some clips, and then it's just too good to turn off.
It really is because man, I mean this is painful.
I mean, George Wallace would be blushing.
Ah,
Hey, you know what, Jack? Real quick before you press play, I didn't know this about George Wallace. After he got shot, he got elected. He ran for governor again, and he was super. He did have that moment everybody said Trump was going to have, where he was like, you know what? I've been pretty hard on the black people, and he became this super like very inclusive guy and super popular. I mean, across the board for his that last term. And John Lewis wrote his fucking obituary.
that yeah, there have been people who have made that term.
Yeah, I mean, he got shot
I
in the stomach
don't
5
think that
times, and he goes, "I think
transparency-
maybe I'm coming off like an asshole."
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think so.
No, not me. I'm saying George Wallace, after the 5 bullets in his chest, he was going like, "Is this how I'm coming off?"
Well, let's start with this first bit.
Let's do this. Here we go.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Now, all right, Sam.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
You're on the stump. You're at this meeting of black journalists and how do you respond? Like what do you think the candidate should say in that after being faced with that question?
Well, first of all, that question was like Rey Mysterio Jr. doing that thing where he jumps off the top rope and then like wraps himself all around your body, does like 3 flips, and then punches you in the face 3 times and backflips over you, and then body slams you.
She's a queen.
No, that was very, very sick and very impressive. Somebody give her a promotion, and I think if I'm his advisor at this point, I just say get up and walk out. Just go right now. He's not going to get any better than this.
So what do you think he does?
Well, I'm going to guess he goes against every piece of advice where everyone said, quit being a dick and don't make it about race. But that's just, I don't know much about this guy.
I don't think he makes it about race per se.
Not yet. Not yet. We're not to that portion yet.
Yeah, we're not to that part.
So
all right.
Here. I'm gonna shoot from the fence. I'm gonna say he's mad that no one said good morning to him.
That's pretty close.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. which is one of the
Now I want to push back on this part for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the right has been doing an awful lot to try and ignore the fact that Trump was the president when COVID hit. Right?
Yes.
Like they just kind of want to be like it's amazing how you watch them be like, are you are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Because everybody's like, well, yeah, 4 years ago was awful. Are you better off than you were 3 years ago?
2.5 years ago.
It's stupid funny to watch him do that.
No, I think it's crazy because one of the first things he made a point to do was throw out all of the Obama Biden policy that they left that was nonpartisan, that was just management shit. And one of those things was the White House Office of Pandemic Response, which is one of the first things he trashed. And boy, that would have came in handy.
Yeah, he gutted it. And boy, that would have come in handy.
Well, we could have used those guys.
So just him saying that, and he does this a lot in this particular Q&A where he talks about, well, things are going to be better under me, as if employment isn't at record.
This is the
as
most
if
classic
unemployment
Trump
isn't at record
appearance
lows, and we're not producing more oil than we've ever produced before, and like.
Oh, he's also, by the way, he's done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, he says that in this too. I've
been
president for black people since Abraham Lincoln.
It's about halfway through where they have to hold that third girl on that panel. They have to hold her back to keep from rushing him and beating him to death with her microphone.
And she's the one from Fox.
Yeah, and she's like, "Enough, bro."
Yeah.
The greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. Done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction.
Well, I mean, essentially, that was congressional, right? Like that was Congress, which was under Nancy Pelosi at the time.
Well, I'm saying once Joe got in, just for example, they did this on Roland Martin's show, and they looked it up, and just Hampton alone got $1 billion.
Yeah.
So let's not make this about it. So here's my question, Jack. And I don't mean to overthink and getting out of this wet paper bag here, but if Kamala Harris went to a historically black college, and Trump is a big supporter of those, and he also maxed out to her twice in 2 different campaigns. You know what I mean?
He seems to think that she's capable, and I think that's
why.
You
don't get five. Would you give $5,000 to somebody if you didn't think they could do the job?
I wouldn't. But
I think Trump thought he had a shot with her.
Oh, you think? I think he's in for a hurt if he does a debate with her.
Boy, I love that she called at that Atlanta rally that looked like a fucking Obama 08 rally. It was unbelievable. Talk about reboots, and she looked right. She's talking to the crowd.
Talking about, man.
She looked right into the camera and said, "Donald, if you have something to say it to my face in the debate."
Right, but he won't.
You think he won't show up?
I think he'll want a town hall format where he can stomp around behind her like he did with Hillary.
Dude, she'll take a swing at her. She's from Oakland, dude. She ain't gonna play. I mean, she's the ultimate. That's my argument the whole time. She's the ultimate anti-Hillary. Half the country, probably more than half the country, doesn't know who her husband is. There has been a 20-year or 30-year attempt to make her a villain. She's
her husband's just some entertainment lawyer named Doug. He's fine. Whatever.
Who's probably one of the all-time American sweet boys in history. He landed her because he kept going he had Lakers season tickets. He was an entertainment lawyer, and and she's a big Warriors fan from Oakland. And he kept taking selfies at the Lakers game, being like, "Hey, you could be here with me." And she's like, she
Well,
wouldn't respond
in
to
on
him.
her behalf too. Like, I mean, he really steps up and be like, my baby got it going on. She can totally
Oh
do
yeah,
this.
dude. The way he finally locked her up is he took a selfie with Steve Kerr at a Warriors game, and he was like, "You could be here with us." But she finally called him. Don't
Yeah,
underestimate.
I
Don't
I
underestimate
think
a
Buck is going to be
sweet Lakers fan.
gentleman.
I can't wait for him to decorate the White House in just all Lakers shit for Christmas. It's going to be so sick.
That'll be a thing, right?
Well, I mean, he's going to be first gentleman.
Right after the
Dude,
playoffs,
Christmas.
the White House is lit up in purple and gold.
Oh, don't get me so excited. All right, let's get through this mess. Here we go.
Yeah, all right, let's watch
Let's see
this.
this
I
master
don't
at
know
work.
exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense, and then you said you can't do it
Jack,
with
pause
Zoom.
real quick.
Well,
I got a question for you.
What's that?
Is there any way that they rope a dope this and set Trump up and Kamala backed out knowing that? I mean, I think it'd be more powerful.
No, I don't think that's what happened at all. I think what happened is they invited him and Joe, and then he said yes, and Joe
dropped
dropped out, and then Kamala was like, "I'm too busy trying to pick my VP, and I'm sorry I can't be in Chicago this weekend." Right? Like, I don't think that was the thing. Like, and I'm pretty sure, that they've agreed that Kamala is going to do a talk with the Association of Black Journalists in September sometime.
Okay.
That. So she's going to sit down with him and she's going to have that conversation. But like, she was just like, "Look, man, I've been running for office for."
And they were like, "It's okay, baby girl. You get your stuff together. You go get set up, honey."
Exactly, right? Go get your hair, dude. We're fine. Like,
yeah, we gonna be okay.
Get your shit together. We'll get to you when you're ready. Because he's had months and months and months to prepare for this. He's had 4 years to prepare for this, which is a whole thing. I like the way they do elections in Europe better, and like,
well, I mean, this
which is part of this whole thing. Like, Joe dropping out and Kamala announcing with what was it, 103 days before the election?
No, very European, didn't it?
Yeah, like, man, in the UK, it's like they got like 90 days.
6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks.
It's nothing, and we should do that. Why are we obsessed with making our politics part?
Well, you know what happens every year. Every year, the morning after the election, they start speculating about who's going to run next time.
What it comes down to, Sam, is you and me could be talking about Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom now, but we can't talk about that right now because we have to talk about this shit instead.
Well, we'll get to it. Hang on. Let's just get through this, or whatever we need to get through. We'll skip through the hits.
It hurts, man. It hurts. I would much rather talk to you about comic books and movies and stuff, but there's more important things going on.
Well, here. Go back to. Okay. Look here. Go back to us. Cut out of this. Go back to us real quick. I just want to calm the temperature here.
Yeah.
But Jack, I don't want to spoil it for everybody. Trump didn't do himself any favors, and the rest of the thing just gets worse. Folks, look it up. It just gets worse. And at one point he says, what did you say? At one point she's Indian. She's Indian for a long time, and then she shows up and she's black. And that was kind of like
terrible, right?
Yeah, to where Senate Republicans off the record are going, yeah, we're scared to death. He wasn't supposed to say that.
And the only good thing about this is that those are going to be the clips that are playing all weekend, and come Monday, I assume Monday evening is when we're finally gonna know who Kamala's VP pick is.
Yeah, well, I think we'll know this week. I think we'll know
in Philly on Tuesday, with her VP candidate.
Right,
So,
and honestly, I think the Pennsylvania thing is a little bit of a head fake. I don't know that it's going to be Shapiro from everything I've
I don't
heard.
think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be. Shapiro.
Hey, hold that thought. I'll be right back. Just one second. I just got a text. I gotta open this thing for. Just vent for a second.
No worries, man. Hi, we're killing time while Sam does whatever the heck it is he's doing. What are you all up to? Let me check the chat. Anybody in the chat? Oh, hey. Hey, Yvonne. Yeah. Kamala went to one. What, Yvonne? Well, while we're at it, and I'm just killing time, let me talk about how my local mayor out here in Mesa, Arizona, who is a Republican, has decided to endorse Kamala Harris for president because Donald Trump is such a monster and has no business being near anything. And I'm like relatively close to that guy, right? Like, I mean, you know, my mayor lives in the same neighborhood as my ex, where I pick up my kid 3 times a week. And oh, Sam's back. Hi.
Hey, I love that. You have Republican senators off the record saying we'd rather have Kamala because at least we know what we're getting. You have Republican mayors down in your part of the country in the Sun Belt.
I mean, the Mesa, Arizona is that. You know what I say? You know what I said to Ian was I mean, I know Mesa, Arizona because I've been living here for more than a while, and I am basically entirely surrounded by LDS churches. And what I said to Ian was, you know what? If my mayor's endorsing him, then I think Utah's in play.
Yeah, I think so
Let
too.
me say that right now.
I completely agree. I think she's opening up the map in a
Mesa
big
is
crazy
very
way.
Mormon heavy, and if Mesa's in play, then I think Utah.
Well, we don't know. You know, Mitt Romney's retiring this year. We don't know. Mitt Romney won't come out and endorse.
I think it'd be rad if Mitt Romney came out and endorsed. I think he should.
That could absolutely be in play.
That,
I mean, this is the moment where everybody's looking around
and that terrible campaign logo that was ripped off from a French shoe company.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But it's comfy on your feet. No, so let's get to what's really important here, people. Over the weekend, they had San Diego Comic-Con. And for folks who don't follow, the MCU has been in kind of a rut. They scale back to one movie a year. They had Endgame, and since then it just hadn't been the same, and the hype hasn't been there, and it's just not that same fulfilling classic Marvel flavor. And then they say the Russos are coming out to acknowledge. Well, first of all, I guess we should say that Jonathan Majors got thrown out of being Kang. The movie was supposed to be Kang Dynasty.
Oh, was that what it was supposed to be?
It was supposed to be Kang Dynasty, and then he got hit with those assault charges.
I
So they changed. They changed it to a movie called Avengers Doomsday. And the Russo brothers, who did Infinity War and Endgame, come out and they say, we knew we wanted to cast Doctor Doom, but he hasn't been in the MCU, and we had to turn to the greatest actor of our generation. And honestly, my first thought was Denzel Washington when they said that. Maybe Christian Bale even.
Have you ever seen a canonical map of where Latveria actually is? It's like right there between Hungary and Slovenia.
It's like Dracula part of the world, right?
Yeah, it's like Dracula territory. And I like Robert Downey Jr. an awful lot.
Oh, we didn't even get to that part. So they bring out the Russos and they say we want the greatest actor of our generation. And there's a whole bunch of Dr. Dooms on stage, and one walks through and he's got green on, and he takes his mask off, and my God, if it's not Tony Stark.
And I'm just saying, man, like, if you want somebody to play that, as somebody who's 3/4 Ukrainian, I would have been happier if they had picked a Slav to play Doctor Doom. That's all I'm saying.
Like who? Who are you talking about?
I don't want to make it like a racial thing or anything like that, but like
But just somebody with some pigment.
somebody who's like legitimately. I'd like to see somebody who's like at the very least like Orthodox Catholic as like somebody who understands that region.
Right.
I don't.
So here's my
I like
question to
Robert
you.
Downey Jr. I think he's a great guy. He's a wonderful actor.
Here's my question, Jack: is how are they going to make?
I would have rather had Surge from Rage Against the Machine as Doctor Doom.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that would.
He's,
I don't
he's
know if that they
Armenian.
would have been right.
That's at least in the right region.
Sure, absolutely, but we've got the cards dealt, and we lucked out, and we got Robert Downey. What I'm asking you, because you're better at this kind of stuff than me, how do they make this make sense? Is he just straight up Victor Von Doom, or is he a Tony Stark variant? Because isn't the audience? I mean, unless Robert Downey Jr. chews it the fuck up from the gate, which I'm sure he will, everybody's going to be thinking Tony Stark, right?
No, because I think he's going to be wearing the mask the whole time.
So then he won't even probably be in the suit.
I mean, they might do like an intro thing in the first 15 minutes where he gets all zapped or whatever, but for the bulk of that movie, he's going to be in
the mask,
Doctor Doom outfit, and he's just going to be So it's going to be like like what's his name who played V in V for Vendetta, where it doesn't matter what he looks like, he's wearing a mask.
Well, like Pedro Pascal in Mandalorian, where half the time it's not him.
Like it's not, So it'll be a thing like that.
So what you're saying is Robert Downey Jr. is about to get $250 million a piece for 2 movies to do voiceover work,
more or less. Yeah.
Because don't you imagine it's going to be like when he would voice the Iron Man suit?
And same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I do want to see him chewing it up just as Victor Von Doom.
I do think that putting one thing that Iron Man didn't have was a cape, and I do appreciate Robert Downey Jr.
You don't do some RDJ cape work?
You put Robert Downey Jr. on a balcony with a cape and just watch him flourish. Fine.
Yeah, that's a really fun idea.
I just wish they would.
I just don't. It just seems like it's one of those casting things where it's like where Marvel's at right now. They're like, well, Hugh's killing it. He's back. Fuck it, why not? Like, Robert, what do you want to do? And it almost seems, and they said they considered Robert Downey for Doctor Doom in that 2005 Fantastic Four movie, and they gave it to the Nip Tuck guy.
I mean, the Fantastic Four movies are cursed, right? They're cursed like the Cubs were cursed. Like it's no Fantastic Four movie has ever been any good.
No, but the Corman one was definitely the coolest looking one.
The Corman one was weird.
Wasn't that cool though? It was like Howard the Duck, but Fantastic Four.
I know.
So
I think that the millennials and Gen Zs don't understand what us comic book nerds went through with movies in the 80s and 90s. They don't understand about the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, and they don't.
Dude, you just read my mind. You just beat me. I was about to say we had to live through Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Have you seen Deadpool yet?
No, I haven't seen the new Deadpool.
Oh my god, dude! The whole thing is just—I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the whole thing is just fourth wall jokes about the comic book movie industry,
and that has its place.
I mean, it's so self-aware. It's really. I don't know how you really appreciate it if you're not a fucking comic book nerd.
My buddy who went to see it thought it was really weird that he was laughing at all the deep cut jokes and nobody else was.
I think we saw it like the Thursday opening night with a bunch of nerds because everybody got it. Everybody was getting all of it.
No, he thought it was weird. We're everybody was laughing at the haha.
No, there's deep track. There's deep track studio jokes.
The gay joke of Wolverine's expense, and Wolverine got cantankerous about it and whatever. But the deep cut, actual comic book mythos stuff just passes over audiences' heads, at least out here.
What I love is that was just Ryan Reynolds he's on that Blade movie, And some studio producer sees the dailies and says, you're coming off like Deadpool. And he was like, who's that? And he goes, I'll have my assistant run over some comic books to you. And he gets these comic books delivered on the set of Blade Trinity. And he opens them up, and the first fucking line is some bad guy says to Deadpool, he goes, what do you look like under the mask? He goes, a cross between a Sharpay's asshole and Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds was like, this is my fucking destiny.
I mean, it's clear that he always wanted to do these movies. Like that's fine.
It's so cool to see Hugh enjoying it again.
Yeah.
And man, I noticed when they were doing all that prep.
With the amount of chicken he has to eat to get in shape for that.
Good Lord. I mean, like 9 chicken breasts a day kind of shit. I mean, he's 60 years old.
I eat nothing but protein.
Dude, one of the best jokes in the movie is he goes, Deadpool has somebody at gunpoint, some bad guy, and he goes, you better speak up, buddy. If not, this guy will do the second act of Music Man, and you don't want that. Like, there's so many, like, just real high Hugh Jackman jokes. They make fun of his divorce in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's always been Deadpool's thing, right?
Yeah, it's just fun as shit. I mean, remember the first Deadpool ended with him taking off the mask? He had the Hugh Jackman Sexiest Man Alive magazine stapled to his face. It's been like a 20-year.
That is a ridiculous Hollywood bromance.
It's so fun, dude. When they were doing all that press together, it's so clear. Like, I swear Ryan was getting him to eat edibles because Hugh is just geeking out and so stoned in all of them. And Ryan's
eventually, what we've learned now is no matter how long that goes on, eventually it goes the way of Tenacious D, and one of them says the wrong thing. And
hey, he didn't say anything we don't now know through an FBI report.
I agree, but Jack Black liked the Panda money better, right?
Dude, and I believe folks, if you're not aware, right after the Trump shooting, no, I know, I agree with you. I'm just updating folks. Right after the Trump assassination attempt, quote unquote, they were in Australia. Tenacious D's playing a show. It's Cal's birthday, and Jack says, "What do you want for your birthday?" And Cal says, "Don't miss next time." Something like that, right?
And Jack said, I want the Panda money more than my friendship.
Right. And Jack said, concert's over. Everybody's got to go home. And Tenacious D is done for now.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Made a slightly off-color joke, which wasn't even that. I mean, it was in Australia.
Dude, and they revoked his visa and shit?
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's tragic.
It's just, I mean, look, the right wing has become such titty babies. It's really amazing. They were the ones bitching about political correctness the whole time. Now you got JD Vance, formerly birthday
right.
Gambles.
JD Vance.
You want to do that?
I got a clip from our buddy Trey Crowder.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do Trey, man.
Right?
He's the man.
Trey,
yeah.
He was on my show back in the day with that I did with Andy.
We trying to have him on, man.
Huh?
I didn't try to get him on, man. He's a killer.
He's great.
I had a few years ago, Ted Cruz Super PAC came to me and were like, "Can you do Trey Crowder stuff?" And they were Republicans running an anti-Ted Cruz Super PAC, and I pitched some stuff. And being a liberal, progressive, throw punches kind of guy, they were very uncomfortable when I pitched them. Here you go, Trey.
I like Trey because he's just
he's just real.
He's white trash from Tennessee in Appalachia, and I'm white trash from the Poconos.
So is this him on JD? All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is him on JD. Have you seen this before?
I haven't seen this. No, I didn't want to watch it till I saw it with you.
All right. Well, he's got two halves. We'll do the first half because that's the important half, and 2 or 3 minutes.
You know, if you told me when I was a kid that one day a white trash hillbilly would have a shot at the White House, I would have been like, what, like with a potato gun? You're like, no, as the vice president. Wow, that's incredible. Please tell me more about this hero. What was he, a man of the people, civil rights attorney? No, an Ivy League educated venture capitalist who first rose to fame by selling us all out. Oh, Oh, well, that's disappointing. It's like telling a kid, hey, you're going to have a Mario-themed birthday, and on the day of, a fat Italian shows up drunk on mushrooms and kills his pet turtles. It's like, that couldn't have gone much worse. I'm talking, of course, about J.D. Vance, who just got named Trump's VP. J.D. made headlines because he said Democrats caused the shooting by comparing Trump to Hitler. He also made headlines in 2016 by comparing Trump to Hitler. That's right, I know it's hard to believe, but turns out Trump's VP pick is a Machiavellian sycophant with less integrity than a Boeing 737. That's right, but that's not the only way in which JD betrayed MAGA back in 2016. It's not. He also brought his wife to my comedy show, and they hung out after. That's right, I saw you loving all that woke shit, JD. You know you loved it. That's right, that's actually true, y'all. See, his book came out, I Went Viral, Trump Rose to Fame, all in 2016. Me and JD started getting called on the cable news to explain Jim Bobs to bow ties, right? Through that, we got to know each other a little bit. He came to my show, we hung out afterwards at the bar, drunk beers. You know what we talked about? This is all we talked about. All we talked about was the existential threat we agreed Donald Trump posed to this country. That's all we talked about. So while I was not charmed by the man, in fact, it was like pounding beers with a spreadsheet, I did live there thinking, at least there's some sane Republicans left. All right. After that, I got around to his book. I was like, how did this book capture the hearts of the intelligentsia? Turns out it's because that book's whole message is, hey, you know how y'all think my people are a bunch of worthless pieces of shit with nothing to offer society? Well, you're right. You're totally right. We suck. We suck, but not me. Please accept me. I'm different. I once got paddled by a tycoon son in Connecticut. Accept me, please. And they did. They did. And that's when my opinion of him started to change, you know, because me and JD, we have stuff in common. White trash, pillbilly mamas, higher education got out, all that. But see, I don't hate my people, though. I don't. I'd sooner throw it all away than line my pockets with predatory payday loan or big pill profits, okay? I love my people. I understand that my people struggle not due to some inborn cultural affliction, but due to the capricious malice of the masters that he now serves, all right? Because you might look at him and be like, how did this dude even, what's he even do? What's he even good at, right? Well, JD is good. He's great, actually. JD's great at one thing. He's great at knowing when, where, and to what precise angle he should bend over. Nobody tongue polishes a boot heel like this motherfucker. The only reason any of us know who JD Vance is because he's bought, paid for, and wholly owned by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, the same billionaire whose current pet project is military AI. So yeah, if you thought Dick Cheney and Halliburton was bad, you just wait till my boy Jim Dave unleashes his sugar daddy's armada of autonomous murder drones on Gaza. All right, fuck JD Vance. Love y'all. I'll see you on YouTube. All right, YouTube, back with more in a second, but I want to let you know that this here little video is brought to you by the good people at Climate First Bank. It can be hard to choose a bank nowadays. They all seem so shady and nefarious, but you got to have well, they're not all like that. Some of them are out here trying to do the right thing. Let me tell you, like Climate First. Climate First Bank is the world's first FDIC-insured community bank founded to help fight the climate crisis. That's right. Unlike other financial institutions, Climate First invests in projects that do right by the environment and their community, like affordable housing, renewable energy, and education. That's right. Climate First banks in Florida, but they have customers nationwide. They have a fully serviced digital branch, website, mobile app, all that stuff. They are a certified B Corp and a member of 1% for the Planet, which means they donate 1% of their gross revenue every year to environmental projects. Climate First also supports the LGBTQ community through their Pride banking program. And now, if you sign up for a qualifying Pride checking account, they will donate $100 to an LGBTQ charity. They are also currently running a 5.34% APY checking account, which is a rate 75 times the national average. Finally, you can make your money work harder for you while still doing right by the planet. If that all sounds good to you, click the link in the description below to check out these and other great offerings from Climate First Bank. Finally, feel better about your money, your bank, your planet. Check out Climate First today. Member FDIC. Look at that. The whole damn sun changed when we were doing that. That's why I went to YouTube anyway. We're back. Listen, yeah, I don't
know. Sorry about that. I kicked my stuff to my other screen and the screen was off. So
you're good. You're good. No, Trey nailed it, dude. Trey totally nailed it. That's amazing. That hung out with him all night.
If there's anything you want to talk shit about JD Vance about, it's that he Trey calling JD Vance a carpetbagger is huge in my mind. Because that's accurate, and I know what that term means. And
I found out today that
somebody like him, funded by somebody like him, who went to Yale, funded by Peter Thiel, and set up shop in Ohio and Appalachia. fuck you, man. Like, just
Yeah,
fuck
he's
you.
no, yeah, he's an opportunist to the worst degree. I didn't realize he changed his name. He used to be JD Hamels.
He changed his name like 3 times, right? Like,
Uh,
I haven't done that.
that's just weird. That's just bizarre. The cat lady thing backfired. I saw rescue cat adoption skyrocketed. Coco's around here somewhere. Don't get him started on it.
He's part of the whole like we need to end no fault divorce thing.
Oh yeah, no, he's the guy who never got laid in high school. Now everybody's going to pay for it, guy.
Yeah.
I went to a lot. I went to school with a lot of guys like that from Westlake and Terrytown and Austin, and boy, they're fucking miserable to be around. And they had some money, or maybe they got some trust fund money, or whatever they lucked into,
I
and
know
now
what it is.
they're
Like, I mean,
they're more authority. You're full of shit.
he definitely lucked out somewhere along the line. I don't know where it was. I don't know when it was.
But man, it's a bad decision to throw away 4 more years in the Senate to get involved with this fucking shit show.
And he hasn't been in the Senate that long either.
2
right?
years, 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. So they the Republicans were looking at him and being like, he's our Obama, and it's like no.
No, Obama is Obama, and
You got
Kamala's the
that
next best
entirely
thing.
You don't understand. Well, I mean, like Obama had a very short stint in the Senate.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the way they made it out to be, but he also had
And
4 years
that's what
in
they
the
want
Senate
it to
before
be.
he got elected.
They want it to be
Well,
like,
yeah, he had 4 years. He had 4 years in the Senate. He had 12 years as a state legislature. That's
That's
16 years. You know.
and
Oh, and he was
as much as they pick on him about it, he was a community organizer, right?
well, and Zen reminded me the other day, and he was a fucking constitutional law professor at one of the most prestigious law schools in the country, University of Chicago.
Right. And what does JD Vance have?
He's got that book, and I think they made an Amazon movie out of it. Who had
that book where he talks shit about rednecks and why he's better and he got out.
Don't you want Foxworthy to come out again? If you grew up in somewhere outside of Appalachia and you say you're a hillbilly, you might be JD Vance.
Well, realistically, entirely to do callback. When we were watching that thing with Trump at the National Association of Black Journalists, his thing was basically, you guys should listen to me because I'm white and in charge.
I gotta say, he came down like the slave master coming down to the fucking field. Was the attitude he had? Like I thought, what of y'all wanted to sleep in the big house tonight?
He did that thing where he's just illegal immigrants are coming to take your job, coming to take black jobs, and he's like, man, if an undocumented immigrant can come to America and take a journalist job,
God bless them, right?
Then there's a real problem with the educate with
well, no, or they're fucking talented and they've got a great voice and a great fucking opinion.
Sure. But they're gonna have to, like, I mean, you're not taking a journalist job without knowing English in the United States, right? Like,
well, of course not. At the same time, he came off so fucking.
He did this weird
for
thing.
A fight.
He did this really weird thing where he was like, they're rapists, they're murderers, they're gangbangers, but also they're coming to take your job. Look, dude, man, if you have time to be a murdering, raping,
right,
and also hold down 2 jobs, like,
right, one of which is at Dell.
Like, where, like, what are you taking to be able to be like raping and murdering in your off time and also work 2 jobs? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and it's I don't know what folks aren't getting. This is truly the shift of women of color are about to run the world. I'm sorry, they just are. They just are, and then whether it's Kamala, Deb Haaland,
and that's why he's scared to debate, right? Like, he knows that.
Oh, absolutely, because she's got fucking game. I mean, this shit is playing out like if the MCU did an Obama reboot, is how it's feeling right now. You know, but instead of 2 years to do this, we have 3 months, barely.
But that's good. I mean, like if you just look at the setup, right? Like just pure state of play, right?
It's looking good.
He just made a disaster of himself this week. And
And
then
like you said to me, and like he pointed out to me, next week,
Monday, Tuesday,
but next week, the whole week next week will be about the VP. It'll all be about the VP, the 60 minutes interview, the whole deal.
Yeah, the next week is all about the VP.
And then he'll fuck up that next week.
It kind of like it was interesting in that Q&A where Trump was just like, well, you know, the VP doesn't really matter. Like he kind of threw Vance under the bus there and just be like, you did.
Oh no, have you not heard that Kellyanne Conway is lobbying to replace him? And you're like, replace him with what?
But
you look stupid either way.
No,
like there's no way you get out of this shit.
He straight up got asked a question.
Yeah, will JD? It was will JD be? Will that honky motherfucker be ready on day one?
Yeah, and he was just he dodged it completely.
Yeah, it's not that important, really. It's really not that. It's not that big of a deal. I tried to the last guy.
He's just the VP. Yeah, I'm gonna be 82, and if I have to step to, if I'm getting cognitively impaired, I'll notice. Because
I think it's clear that Trump is in a panic right now.
Yes, and he's screwed, I think. Which is great because he's always been a terrible person.
Well, I heard, there's an article.
You know what I think is going to happen? Like ultimately, like do you remember when he did that thing with the American Football League and like tried?
Oh yeah, 90s. Yeah, the Washington Generals. It literally named them the Washington Generals, which was a team that the Globetrotters used to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, but do you remember how that ended? Like there was a whole like lawsuit fiasco, and then like he was found guilty, but his penalty was like so low, like it was only $1, and it ended up being like the judge doubled it to 3 or tripled it to 3.
Right, some horse shit.
And it's gonna be that kind of thing where he just like he's gonna lose, but he's gonna skate away.
Hey, you know what? I'm a big supporter of however we have to get rid of him, let's get rid of him. I don't care about him.
I don't care as long as he loses, right? Like the man should never.
So hey, so here's what I before I ran out, we both said we don't think it's Shapiro. Who do you think he'll be?
Man,
for VP.
I mean, I think it's either going to be Mark Kelly or Walz.
I think that's smart money. I like both of those guys a whole lot. There's weird rumors going around that it's
what it comes down to is like, what's the play? Is it going to be Rust Belt or Sun Belt? Right.
Right. Exactly.
Like, if it's Sun Belt and we're going for North
Arizona,
Carolina,
Nevada, New
Mexico, Arizona, then it's going to be Mark Kelly. If it's going to be Rust Belt and we're going for
Minnesota,
Michigan, Pennsylvania, then it's going to be Walz. Right.
But I mean, there's rumors going around today that Andy Beshear from Kentucky, two-term governor of Kentucky, Democrat in a red state. His dad was governor right before him. That Andy Beshear.
Don't get me wrong. I've been loving watching Shapiro on the stump. He's been doing a very good job.
Well, God, he's only 51.
And
no, but what I'm saying is Beshear, the worst,
kind of the dark horse of the whole thing.
Andy Beshear had some events abruptly canceled today that were set up for Friday.
Mark Kelly, what?
Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky, had a bunch of events canceled for Friday, and they said his security's beefed up.
I get that, but I don't see how Kentucky gets you anything.
No, I think if anything, it suppresses votes.
Unless McConnell is McConnell up for re-election this year?
I don't know if McConnell's up for re-election, but I know that the Beshears have been.
Because if you could unseat McConnell, then yeah, let's go for Kentucky. But otherwise, I don't see the point.
Well, I don't think we pick him to go for Kentucky. It's just that part of the world. Like we might pull off some Ohio votes. I mean, he's a Democrat.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something to be said for. You're familiar with the term Pennsyltucky, right?
Sure.
That is definitely a thing. if you're trying to get middle Pennsylvania,
I mean, is there an argument made that
Somebody from Kentucky is
Shapiro with
but
Shapiro with the Israel Gaza stuff, could that be a liability?
I don't think it's as big of a liability as the left. Like we need to draw some lines, right? Like
Right.
there's neocons, there's liberals, there's leftists. I don't think the leftists would have a big problem with a Shapiro pick, but also most of them have already said they're not voting for anybody. They're just going to skip the presidential ballot anyway.
Right.
They've decided that anybody who is running shit is inherently corrupt.
So,
So,
I want it to be Mark Kelly. I mean, he's got an amazing story. It's insane. It's as American as it gets.
dude, I'm a bald cishet white man from Arizona. Like, do you think
Like I'm the
Mark
Demno.
Kelly? He's my boy, right? Like,
I mean, guys, Top Gun graduate, fighter pilot in Iraq One. I mean, astronaut, Gabby Gifford's husband. I mean, what else do you need to know?
I do think that like putting Gabby on the stump as the second
That's
lady
powerful, isn't it?
is a big thing for gun reform. Like that's
Huge.
crazy.
That shit didn't nick her. That shit didn't nick her ear. That shit went.
Yeah, that didn't nick her ear.
Head. It went like this.
And it was a crazy Republican asshole kid.
Yeah, who just walked up with a handgun at a fucking Walmart. They were just registering.
Yeah,
it was the kind of thing most candidates don't even show up to.
Yep. And there's something, and there's also a big play to be made in terms of like talking about the border thing, how every mayor and congressional member who actually represents a border town in Arizona has endorsed Kamala.
Right. Not
Mayor
people.
Mesa has endorsed Kamala. Like,
Right. You're saying not people in fucking New Hampshire who are crying about the border.
I am so sick of people in like South and North Dakota talking about how the border is a big problem. It's like, fuck you, your border's Canada. Shut up.
Hey, I mean, you know this as well as I do. You close that border and Texas economy is going to crash. I'm fucked if that happens.
Yeah, right. Like it's a big thing. Like it's like you can't just say that this is we can just
it's not that easy.
The border like this, and Trump's like, well, we need them to come here legally, and what does that mean? Like
this attack.
Just to be clear, right? Like I mean, like illegally crossing the border is a misdemeanor, right? Basically in line with a traffic ticket.
But also, why are they crossing it? They're not crossing it to commit crimes. Cut the shit. They're crossing it to save their own lives and get to a better tomorrow.
Well, that's the other thing. They hammer in on this talking point about, oh, they're sending their rapists and murderers and crazy people. If that was true, then you would think that Trump wanted to make migrant crime a term, but it doesn't work because illegal undocumented immigrants do less crime because they don't want to get caught, right? Like
because they're just here to make a better life.
They're getting deported, so they don't do crime. It's you got a much bigger problem with like drunk Karens on Saturday night in Scottsdale committing crimes than anything that happens with undocumented immigrants, right?
It also doesn't help that the Republicans, every time it comes up for a vote, refuse to vote in Congress for fucking funding the Border Patrol or funding Homeland Security. That's I wonder why they can't get the job done.
Like that was a whole reform bill that was put together by a Republican.
James Lankford from Oklahoma.
Yeah. And Trump shut it down just because he wanted to make it a campaign.
And he had the votes and he had Democrats ready.
And I can't think of more things like unpresidential than not fixing the problem just because you want to win.
It's wild. It's really wild because I mean, I mean, I remember when that bill got shot down. It was a thing where Democrats capitulated quite a bit. We got on board, and then at the 11th hour, Trump
Which is
makes
what they do, right? Like this is why when they talked about the American Care Act, or
Rescue Act.
they talked about when they talked about the ACA being like a labyrinthian nightmare of bureaucracy. It was only a bureaucracy because they capitulated to the Republicans so much, right?
Right, because
We
Obama
can
didn't
have
want to put his
single
fingers
payer
on his
health
bill.
care right now, but we don't because the Republicans made it
Well,
harder.
hey, and on that note, let's not pretend like Bernie could have got it done. Please, nobody in Congress likes him.
I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for Bernie. 242 Maine forever, right? Like punk rock. Let's go.
Sure, absolutely, but I don't think he could have got it done. He's not. He doesn't know how to work the phones. He doesn't know how to play senators and play congressmen.
Yeah, I mean, he's not.
He's in a safe seat. He always has been.
If you put Bernie in the right position, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, he could have been a Václav Havel, but he's
Oh,
not.
absolutely, absolutely. In a Clinton cabinet, or even in maybe a Gore cabinet in a multiverse somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, right?
Lockbox, Jack.
Yeah.
Lockbox.
So what happens now?
What happens now is I'm going to end you with my closing statement. And I think it's this. For about the last 2 years, Democrats that I know, and you and I have been there ourselves, have been in the mindset of defeatism. And well, Trump's unstoppable. And Kamala Harris comes out, and boy, it starts to feel like the good old days. And it's like, you know what it feels like to me, Jack? It feels like the end of Ghostbusters 2, where Vigo grabs that baby, and it's over. He got the baby. He's got his new body. He's going to put his soul in this body, and then all of a sudden,
Natural liberty comes
what
off.
they say it's the singing. They're singing outside. The positive singing is weakening him, and that's what we're watching right now happen in this country.
I think there's something to be said for that. I think it's interesting that we're talking about all this Olympic stuff, and the Statue of Liberty is front and center
French.
as
Yeah.
the thing that France gave America as a great present, and also
You got to wonder if she's wearing underwear under that toga.
no, I don't think she is. I think she's totally free under there.
She's
And
French.
She's French. Something about Victor Hugo.
Now we're just thinking about fucking upskirt.
But I don't want to bore
Lady
people
Liberty.
with literature. But also there is that idea of like that the Republicans want to make immigration a part of the debate. Well, what's it say on the basis of the Statue of Liberty, Sam? You're tired, you're poor, you're wretched refuse yearning to breathe free. And at the same time, they're complaining that Americans aren't having enough kids, and therefore we won't have enough of a population.
Well, and that's what pissed me off about JD Vance is, you know what? We don't have kids
How
right now.
about we just let more people in, which is what we did with the Irish and the
Hi, how are you? Hi, that's
Irish
me.
and the Russians and the Germans, and when we started
The Polacks.
I think
Polacks roughed
who
some people
weren't
up for us.
considered white at the time, and just yeah.
All I know from my own personal experience is immigration and the what we call a melting pot only makes America more interesting.
I will tell you this, Sam. Just because you're in Texas and I'm in Arizona,
Yes, sir.
if you and me are going to come to blows over anything, it's this.
Uh-oh.
Chili is made with pork and pinto beans and is green. And you're wrong over there in Texas about.
Well, look. That's what I want. That's where I'd like to answer this question. I'm so glad you asked it. What did you say your name was? Jack from Arizona? Look, Jack, in my state, I know chili is a controversial issue. I know some Texans will tell you it's not made with beans, and some will tell you it's made with beans. Now, look, I support what the University of Texas have done at the athletic center, where in their cafeteria they serve 3 kinds of chili every day. You know, and I don't think we should have to pick one kind of chili.
All
Today,
right.
America in 2024, we should be able to have whatever chili we want to have: beans, no beans, meat, beef, pork, whatever it is your heart desires.
Not
This
even
was
not
built-
even just chili, just any kind of stews. Bring me the gumbos, bring me the red beans and rice.
Give me your gumbos. Give me your red beans and rice. Give me your pot roast stew. America, we still have this. We've still got this. Jack, this was a fucking blast. We got to do this more often. I've got to get something to eat. You got me so fired up about to puke because I haven't ate all day. It's my Ozempic I'm on.
Oh, are you on the Ozempic?
Yeah, but I've been shooting it into my veins, so I don't know if
You
it's
and
working.
everybody else in Hollywood?
You know how much better I would look if I was on Ozempic?
You know, if you told me when I was a kid that one day a white trash hillbilly would have a shot at the White House
Trey!
with a potato gun, you're like, no, as the vice.
Sorry, I opened a window because I needed to.
That motherfucker Trey crowd. I mean, the dude will not stop. Jack, thank you so much for having me on, man. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta do normal family man stuff. Hey, the future's not looking so bad. The mood sign's feeling positive.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about things. I really am, and I hope
I'm
that
excited. I think we should re-adjourn this meeting once we have a VP.
Well, we'll have a VP by Tuesday night for sure.
Well,
right?
I guess I'll see you on this Zoom sometime next week, and we can discuss it.
We can totally do that.
All right, I'll see you
All
then, brother. I love you, dude.